Praise be Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. Good morning, everyone. Special happy Father's Day to all fathers, godfathers, stepfathers, men who act as fathers in their roles. Happy Father's Day to all of you. Thank you. As I was reflecting on the readings this week, I thought back to my early days in grade school at St. Coleman Church. And this story came to mind, this situation. One year, a new boy came into our class. None of us knew him. We didn't get a chance to really know him because we thought he was very bashful, very reserved, because he never spoke, not even in class, never played with us in the playground during lunchtime, just always stayed off by himself. What we learned later was he had a speech impediment, and he was ashamed of that. He was embarrassed by that. But the next year, when we first came back to school after summer break, he was like a brand new kid, laughing, playing, talking, involved in everything we do, reading out loud in class, which he never did the year before. And what we found out was one of the good sisters of mercy who taught us spent her entire summer with him, helping him with his speech impediment. And she helped him get past all of that. He was like a completely new person. And to him, she was the face of Christ, who took time on her own to help him just as Christ is with us and helps us at all times. Now, I am sure everyone sitting here today has experienced what that boy experienced, where you don't feel welcome, where you don't feel seen, you don't feel heard, and you kind of just go off to yourself, a little afraid, a little intimidated. Just like Jeremiah, though, as we heard in our first reading today. Jeremiah, talking about the people he thought were his friends, but turned out not to be, had turned against him. And he knew it. He heard all the whispers, as we heard in that reading, and he knew what they were trying to do to plot against him. But we hear about the strength of his faith when he says, "But my God is always with me like a champion." It reminded me of a phrase I heard a few years ago that I'll never forget, and it applied to Jeremiah. God protects me from nothing, but he sustains me through everything. And that's how Jeremiah felt. He was going through it like we've probably all gone through, where we're shunned by people, where we're ignored by people, where we are mistreated by people. But we have to rely on our faith, knowing that even when the world shuns us, even when the world ignores us, God never does. God is always with us. He is always walking with us on our journeys, and he never, never abandons us. We heard that in the gospel reading today from Matthew, when Jesus was speaking to the 12, and he was talking about the sparrows, how important they are to him. But then he goes on to talk about how much more important we are to him than anything else in the world. He tells us that by the story about every hair on our head has been counted, and how he will treat us and he will be with us always throughout our lives. Especially during those times when we don't feel him, where we don't see him, where we don't recognize him because of the things that we are going through in our lives, the struggles and the difficulties that we are encountering, because of the world around us, because life happens. Life is not always positive, even though most of the time it is, but we all go through those times where it's a little bit on the negative side, where we don't feel seen, we don't feel heard by others, we feel shunned by the world. So my sisters and brothers, two things I would like us all to do this week. I would like you first to think back on a time when that happened to you. And we all have experienced it. I want you to think and remember exactly how you felt when you were going through that. How abandoned, how alone, how hurt, how painful it was to think your friends had now turned against you like they did against Jeremiah. Think about that hurt. Think about that pain. Think about that suffering that you went through. Then the second thing I want you to do is think about someone you know in your life, whether it's a family member, a friend, a coworker, a parishioner, who may be going through that right now, where they don't feel seen, they don't feel heard, they feel alone and abandoned by everyone around them. Be like that good sister of mercy in our school. Be the face of Christ to that person. Reach out to them. Talk to them. But even more importantly, don't so much talk, just listen. Listen to what they have to say. Listen to what their struggles are. Listen to what their worries are. Listen to what their concerns are. And then, like Jeremiah, hopefully that person will see the face of Christ in you, will have faith that he will get through or she will get through whatever it is that they're going through, because you help them see God. You help them know God. And you help them have faith and trust in God that he will see them through any struggle that they are going through.